Have you ever noticed how, when playing a game, our brains aren't following the rules of reality, but instead have substituted them with special rules and meanings that only exist within the game? Games are capable of creating a special space, set apart from reality, within which play is ritualistically conjured. This special space happens to have a name, and it is known as the magic circle. The magic circle is a concept that describes how meaning is altered while a game is being played, to construct a boundary between the real world and the game world.
Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome. Today we are going to talk about games. And you may or may not know that I did get my master's degree about 7 or 8 years ago, and part of my study was games, gamification, and really taking a study on how games help us in daily life, or how we can apply game theory, not game theory because game theory is something different, which is more economic based, but about how we can add games to our life to make life better in the workplace, better at home, and it's all around us, this idea of games. But today we're going to talk specifically about one aspect of gaming, and it is the fundamental building block of every game you play. And you're looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about? So let's go back to 1932, Johann Heitzinger. And he talks about the magic circle. And you're thinking, magic? What does a magic circle have to do with games? It's a boundary. Think of it as the boundary between reality and the game. So think about your board games. You suspend your reality when you sit down and start playing a board game. You agree to the environment, the rules of the board game. Like, think about it. I'm going to play a mobster in a board game. I'm not a mobster, and I'm certainly not going to go kill and rob, because that's not part of our rule set that we live by in daily life. Hey, but it's okay to play some game where I'm a mobster and going to go rob a bank or whack somebody else. So you can see how this magic circle takes what we do as people and takes our reality and moves us into a different reality with its own rule set. Think about Monopoly. Any game you play, whether it's a modern or classic, is going to bring you into this world. So let's go down to my table really quickly. I have a game set up down here, and we're just going to talk about this game in relation to the magic circle to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Because what I want to do over the next number of videos, I want to start looking at games deeper. Like, what are games? What type of games are out there? And give you a sense of what you may or may not like in a game, and what I may or may not like in a game, and give you some pointers. If you're a new gamer, maybe you'll see a mechanic here, and we're going to talk about mechanics in different games. So we're going to talk about different games as I play them, and we're going to try to bring games to life for you, and why you should play this game, and really, what do games have to offer? So this is a little different than the normal, let's teach you how to play a game. Now we're going to explore games in terms of why this game to me is significant, or what mechanic, or what do I get out of a game like this. So let's go down to my table real quick. Now this one is just about the magic circle, so we're really not going to get too deep in the mechanics. We're really going to talk about around the game. So let's head down.
The president is not available, but the White House has issued a statement. To repeat, authorities have just confirmed the claim by doomsday cult leader Gerhold Wagner that the so-called cult flu is in fact a genetically engineered virus created by his followers to fulfill their prophecy of the millennium. The CDC is unsure when or even if a cure will be found, but admit that many thousands may already be infected. Before being tracked down, nearly all of the 300 known cult followers managed to make their way to the major city centers of the world, where they systematically and deliberately spread the disease they created. Of the cult members so far discovered, nearly all are dead or dying, leaving health officials around the globe gravely concerned about the repercussions. People are being told to stay in their homes, and it's likely martial law will soon be imposed.
Have they determined the incubation period? As long as 2 weeks.
So here we are. We're going to start diving into our magic circle. And the first game we're going to look at is, you can see here I have Fallout Shelter, the board game. Now, we don't live in this reality of the Fallout Shelter. We don't live in a nuclear wasteland caused by World War III, at least not yet. That may change in the next few months with what's going on in Europe. But we're here to talk about board games, not what's going on in the world, because as we open our box, we are now being transported into Fallout Shelter, the board game. And one of the things you do in a board game, or even a movie, or a book, where you're being transported into a different reality, is setting up the context, and in the event of an overseer death. So we're setting up this context that says somebody's died and they want me in charge, or somebody else in charge, and the best way to do that is to make my dwellers happy. Now, there are no vault dwellers out here. They only exist here. This is your magic circle. Everything that sits in the magic circle is in this box. As we pull apart our box, we have our vault dwellers. We have happiness. We have resources, and then we have the shelter itself, the environment in which it exists. So I just set this up briefly. We are not playing this game today, but I want to show you that this is our environment. We are moving from the real world into the world of our game. So we've crossed that boundary between reality and fantasy, basically. And we are now in the world of Fallout Shelter. And everything we do exists in this environment, in our Fallout Shelter. But we have to interact with our environment. And this is where these come in. These are the rules of the game. The rules of the game have us suspend belief of our own reality and brings us into the game. And the game has rules, of course. These rules tell us how we interact with these reality. And the thing with the game is we agree to these rules. These rules are outside our own living space, let's just say. So we agree to these and say, yes, we're going to come into this world. We're going to agree on this set, and 1 to 4 players can play this. So if we have multiple players, we all agree to these rules. We don't make up rules. I mean, sometimes we make up house rules because games sometimes are a little lacking, or somebody makes a variant, which happens in a solo game. But again, whether I'm playing alone or with 2 to 4 players, I'm agreeing to a set of rules that is spelled out by the designer. We agree that these are people, even though we know these aren't really people. We agree that this tells us how much happiness is going on, and we agree that these are resources, even though they're just green cubes. But we suspend our reality. We also suspend our reality by agreeing that these are monsters. And these are the equipment that we will use. I don't bring a real gun or a real dog, although I do have 6 dogs, into this space. Everything we bring in is part of the game, and we buy into that. This is a gun that we will use to shoot these monsters using these dice, and that these dice at certain values will either hit a monster or get us hit. That is what happens inside the magic circle. Anyway, that is it for this particular video. My name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome. If you're new to my channel, thank you for watching. I hope this was of interest. We are going to talk about other aspects of gaming as we go along. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button. Subscribe. Love to have you. I do interesting games. I play mainly solo games, but we'd love to have you. By subscribing shows a little bit of appreciation that I spend a little time doing this. Make some comments. If you think this is of interest to you, please let me know. This is the first time I've really delved into this topic in a video format. If it's interesting to you as a gamer, it'd be very nice to get your feedback on this. And let me know what type of topics would you like to learn about gaming. Anyway, that is it for me. I'm going to go off and have my coffee that's been heating up for a while. And I'm going to enjoy my morning, so you do too. This is Saturday. Enjoy the weekend, folks. Have fun.